Is Plutosphere any good for playing PC VR games? Now, first of all, I suppose we really need to address the fact that this is still in early access and it might not be perfect. Well, it isn't perfect. I also like to say that I'm mainly hardwired. All my equipment is mainly hardwired. Obviously, with the Quest, that isn't possible. I don't have a Wi-Fi 6 router, but I do have like a Netgear Nighthawk with the 6 antenna thing. I'll put an image just here. And it works perfectly well for most cloud gaming solutions. It worked for when I did play Stadia. It works for GFN. It works for, what are the others? Xbox Cloud Gaming. So I would have expected it to work with Plutosphere, but for me personally, there was so much lag while playing Beat Saber that I couldn't carry on playing. It lagged in the menu, but this doesn't mean that's going to be the same situation for you. Would I recommend you try it? I would give it a go. If you don't have a good PC rig to be able to play, give it a go. Why not? You've got nothing really to lose. I wouldn't suggest spending any more than the 3,000 tokens, which works out to about £4.50, say, roughly. I wouldn't spend any more than that. I would even go for the 1,800 tokens, like I said in the previous video, just to test it out and make sure it actually works. Now, there are some things like that I'm not going to comment on because it is different for everyone. However, there are things that I would like to see changed. For example, the setup process is horrendous. I know the thing works on tokens. I know that you get 15 minutes free to set up your rig. However, one of the big points of cloud gaming is convenience. Being able to just play your game straight away. And having to wait 15 minutes to get into the rig is not good enough, in my opinion. Now, I know Stadia got a lot of complaints about, certain things, but one of the easiest things about Stadia is just getting into your game. Not that I would recommend the service anymore after everything that's gone on with it. If you were going to play normal games, I would suggest GFN as long as they've got those games, but then there's the problem there as well. But that's going off topic. That's a completely different subject. One of my biggest problems with this is the fact that it doesn't remember anything. So after the 30 minutes of you disconnecting from your rig, you have to download everything again. Again, it's in early access. Should I give it a pass? I don't know, because I'm spending money on it. So, no, not really. Even if it's in early access, like, you're spending a lot of money, really, when you actually look at the figures. And I will go over them now, really, because is it worth using something like this rather than buying your own PC? And you're going to think, well, that's crazy because it's nowhere near the price. However, if you buy the 60,000 tokens, which is the cheapest price point, say you're going to be using it for a long time and you're happy with the service and you're willing to pay that amount, even with that, you play 10 hours a week, say, at the most, it's going to be £397. And over 2 years, it's £794. If you did like some sort of finance scheme, you'd probably be able to pick up a decent rig to be able to play VR on for roughly about £800 anyway. And it's yours then, and you don't have all these issues that come with cloud gaming. Because let's face it, cloud gaming is not perfect. Because there are so many elements to it. There are so many things that can go wrong. And I don't think GFN with a 3080 tier is probably the closest thing to playing like on a console or on a PC. The rest of them, I don't feel like they're anywhere near. Xbox has the library, but then I hear so many people having issues with it. And Stadia, isn't getting any more big games. They've basically shut the service down. I know people aren't going to like that, but they have basically shut the service down. They're just not telling people, which I think is even worse. Luna is only just starting out. It's, it's like a baby of the cloud gaming world, along with, I suppose, Plutosphere. But for them to get normal gaming correct, and you know, GFN is the only one to do it. There's so much more when it comes to VR that, you know, if you have really bad input latency, there's a big chance you're gonna be sick. It's so immersive. I find it difficult to think that cloud VR is anywhere near. I suspect it's going to be 5-10 years down the line. And can Plutosphere survive for that long? And it's a very similar thing with Shadow VR or Shadow PC. Now I don't have a Shadow PC. I can't tell you whether that works for me. I felt as though the £30 price tag was, I mean, it's on a par with Plutosphere. It's too expensive for what it is. You know, Plutosphere for 10 hours a week, say you're playing 10 hours a week, which I would say is about average if you're playing VR. That is what you're going to be wanting to play. About 10 hours. It's £30 at that 60,000 coin price tag, if you calculate it right. And I just don't see it as a cost-effective way of playing VR. And I can understand the point of, oh, well, I ain't got the money for a rig. But if you've got enough money to be spending £30 a month, you can get finance. I suppose there are some people who can't get finance. But then, if you can't get finance, should you really be spending £30? I don't want to get into that. That's not, you know, do you know what I mean there? Apart from that, it didn't work for me. Now, I've seen other people and it says it works, but the setup for it, I mean, if you've watched the previous video and you come into this, I mean, I've tried to cut that video down as much as I possibly could to make it easy to understand and easy to go through. But it's just a pain. And at the end of the day, I was trying to play Beat Saber, which I can play natively on my Quest. I don't need a PC to play that. Yes, visually it might look better, but with Plutosphere and the settings, it didn't. I couldn't tell a visual difference compared to if I'm playing on that thing where, you know, I accept the fact I'm lucky to have that. Could I suggest Plutosphere to someone? No, not really. And I feel bad, but it was awful. The people at Plutosphere who helped me with the second account issue were really helpful, and I'm thankful for that. But then I did pay to try and play the damn thing, and it wouldn't work. And again, yes, it's in early access. Should we give it a pass? If it was in early access and it was cheap, yes. I don't think it's cheap. I really don't. I think it's very expensive for what it is. The next thing to do with cloud gaming would be, you know, the whole point of it, that you can access it on any device. Well, that's really kind of a, you know, pointless point when it comes to VR, because you can only access it on that headset. You can't, you know, you can play it on the TV or on your phone. And then you've got the other issue of it's not portable. I couldn't go out and play this in the middle of the street, even hooked up to a hotspot from my phone, because 4G is not good enough. It's not really good enough to play cloud gaming, let alone VR cloud gaming. So it just seems like such a way off point to be even thinking of this as a viable solution. Not only that, but if you're gonna download something like Half-Life Alyx, which is like 50 gig, if I remember rightly, like, you're gonna eat into your time. Now, Beat Saber downloaded very quickly, but something like that's gonna take, I mean, even if it takes 10-15 minutes, that's, and you know, you've got your connection, you've already connected, and that's taking you 10 minutes. It takes half an hour to download. That's half an hour of your coins you're wasting downloading it. And then you have to do it again the next time you come into the game. I only see this at the moment as a let's test it out to see if it works. I don't see it as a solution for playing long term at the moment. Maybe in a few years, maybe they change things, Maybe they do more of a GFN route where the games are all already on the service, so you don't have to download them, which, you know, you could do. You could still then have to buy them through the Steam account. I just don't see it as something I could suggest to someone to be able to use, and I feel bad for that. Just like I wouldn't suggest for someone to use Stadia anymore. I'm sure people watching this video, if you've had a good experience with it, you will let me know. But for me, it feels like there's so many factors that can go wrong that I just can't. No, it's way off. The advantage with cloud gaming is that they could change something straight away and it could fix a lot of the problems. But just the setup alone was a nightmare. Like, it literally took me 2 hours to get it to the point where I could make a 7-minute video out of it. So I'm going to stick to local for a considerable amount of time. If you'd like to see a video on me looking at local rigs that are about that price mark, that you could potentially be playing VR games with, that you could buy yourself, let me know and I'll do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one. Goodbye.